What's up guys, the 30-liter Peak Design Everyday Backpack has finally arrived, and as promised, here's a review about it. Alright guys, so as you recall, I started out with the 20-liter version of the backpack here, and I was able to get most of my gear in here, but not everything. And I wasn't able to effectively use the side wings here at all. So just as a quick recap, let me show you what I was able to get inside here. If you recall, I was able to get my 15-inch MacBook Pro in here, wireless headphones, GoPro case for the GoPro and some other accessories, tablet mount for the Mavic, 2 extra batteries for the Mavic, my Canon DSLR, which I'll admit is a bit of a struggle to fit in here, the Mavic, and the controller for the Mavic. So I think I did a pretty good job of utilizing this space, but you know, everything's just a struggle. And I don't really have a lot of options with how I want to stow the gear or organize it inside here. And again, I can't even stuff anything inside these wings without them sticking out too far and taking away volume from inside the pack. And now for a size comparison here. When you first get the 30-liter in the mail, you look at it and you're like, that's a really big backpack. And when you put it next to the 20-liter version, you say, that's even a bigger backpack. I'm not sure if I really want to carry that. And this might sound a little bit strange, but once you stare at the 30-liter for a few days, you actually get used to it and you say, okay, I can probably make that work. Now here I have nothing in either pack. I have them closed down as small as they can go. And in general, the packs are identical. Everything's just a little bit bigger in the 30-liter version than the 20-liter version. Depth-wise, they're actually very similar. You might have an extra inch or two on the 30-liter version, and where the difference really lies is in the width of the pack. So here, you have a good extra few inches on this 30-liter version, and that makes all the difference. Alright, so you can obviously find measurements online for these, but I always like to do things myself. So here's the height for the 20-liter version, comes out to about 18 inches, and the height for the 30-liter comes out to about 20 inches. So not much difference there. Measuring the width of the top zipper here on the 20-liter, about 11.5 inches, and on the 30-liter, 13 inches. So already some big difference there. Measuring the depth on the 20-liter, about 5.5, 6 inches, and measuring the depth on the 30-liter, about 7 inches. So not too much difference there. The real difference here is in the width of the packs. So on the 20-liter, edge to edge at the top, about 12.5, 13 inches. And on the 30-liter version, you get a whole 14, almost 14.5 inches. And that's what really makes this pack look so much bigger. All right, so a few more measurements here. The laptop sleeve on the 20-liter version comes out to about 9.5 inches, whereas on the 30-liter version comes out to about 10.5, almost 11 inches. The inner pocket here on the 20-liter pack comes in at about 5 inches, which is about the same as the 30-liter pack. However, given that extra width, you can fit a lot more in here. Even the hidden compartment on the 30-liter version is bigger. In the 20-liter version, it's about 5 inches tall, about 4 inches wide. On the 30-liter version, it goes to almost 6 inches there, and it's almost 6 inches wide, so you can definitely fit a lot more even in that little hidden compartment. So the side wing pockets on the 20-liter version, that diagonal is about 6.5, almost 7 inches, and the same side wing pocket on the 30-liter version, that diagonal is about 8.5, almost 9 inches. Alright, so for reference, I'm 5'8", about 130 pounds. So here's the 20-liter backpack. Fits me very well. I think it looks great. There's no impediment here with my arms when I swing them back and forth. And overall, fits very close to the body, feels great, I really like it. Here is the 30-liter backpack. When you put it on, you can instantly feel that it's a lot bigger, especially this back panel. And you've probably heard this described as kind of having a turtle shell look to it. Well, that's why. It's so much wider on the back panel here, and it sticks out so much more that it really does look a lot bigger than it is. It's still comfortable, it's just that it feels a lot bigger and it looks a lot bigger. And here, when I put my arms back, I actually am hitting the backpack, So, you know, it's not a huge deal, but it's just something you should know, and I'm sure I'll get used to it as I walk around more with it. The real question that you wanted answered, and the reason that you guys came here, is can you still carry the 30-liter backpack and drink a beer with it? Well, I'm happy to tell you that yes, you sure can. All joking aside, you came here to see what you can actually pack in this bag, so that's what I want to show you next. So the first thing I want to do is put the laptop in here. Now, as you saw before, you have so much extra space in the laptop sleeve here that you can get up to a 17-inch laptop in here very easily. So the 15-inch MacBook Pro goes in very easily with lots of room to spare. It's all the way down in there, and you can see you have all this room still. You have a lot of wiggle room here too, so if you have a big case, that's a better option for you. And of course, the iPad mini goes in here very easily, and if you had a bigger tablet, then you could fit that in here as well. In fact, I should probably tell you the depth of that tablet sleeve. It would be easier to do this without anything in here, but there you go. From the bottom of that tablet sleeve to the top here, you're at 14 inches. Another important consideration is that when you put a laptop inside here, it doesn't expand out the back. It actually expands inward and takes up room inside. So you lose a little bit of volume and capacity when you put a laptop in here. Now in the 20-liter version, it's not really a big deal, but you do notice that you've lost a little bit of volume here. Whereas in the 30-liter version, you really don't notice that you've lost capacity so much because you do have that extra inch or inch and a half in depth here. Now I have arranged the shelves here a little bit. This shelf always comes kind of all the way at the bottom here when you first get it, but you can of course move that up and adjust it as you please. Let's see just how easy this is to pack compared to the 20-liter version. So the drone, I'm going to put in here. That goes all the way back there. And again, I don't have anything in this side wing yet, but I still have about 3 inches here to the end. So the controller can go in here very easily. And here I actually have space for extra batteries like that, so that's awesome. Screen mount to put the tablet on the Mavic controller slides in here very easily, and the base for the DJI Osmo that I'm using right now, I would probably put that in here. If you have a big DSLR, then the 30-liter backpack is the choice for you. Again, I'm going to go to a mirrorless setup here pretty soon, but you can see just how much more space you have in the 30-liter backpack. And you can actually get to use the folding compartments here, and you can put another lens in here. And that brings us to a good point. Some people are complaining that they find, when this is all closed up, that gear is sliding around in here and kind of falling here between shelves. And you can see how that can happen if this isn't stuffed up very much. Then you have a couple inches here where gear can perhaps fall off the top shelf here and fall perhaps down here. So to prevent that, I would suggest using cases. So for example, here's my low pro case. I'm going to put that in here, and if I was carrying an extra lens with me, I would probably have it in some kind of case as well. If you're curious like I was, the shelves in the 20-liter backpack are ever so slightly smaller than those in the 30-liter backpack. And I think if Peak Design lengthened the dividers for the 30-liter backpack, then there would be less chance of gear sliding around and falling from shelf to shelf. And I checked more than one pair between the backpacks just to see if there wasn't some manufacturing fluke. And sure enough, all the shelves in the 20-liter pack are smaller than those in the 30-liter pack. Alright, now if you recall, one of my goals was to be able to close this down all the way and still have enough room up here. And with a 30-liter backpack, that is now a reality. So I have a huge shelf up here on the top, so I could put my wireless headphones in here. Again, this is space for easy access items on the plane. I don't want to be digging around the side panels for anything. That's for gear when I'm out in the field. But for traveling, I want easy access to things up here. So wireless headphones, don't need this on the plane, but easy access for when you're in the field. Rain cover for the pack. The fabric on the pack, of course, is a DWR fabric, so it should shed water, but if you're in some torrential downpour, you might want this. So I'll leave that up here. And a rain jacket for myself fits in here very easily as well, in addition to a notebook And my power adapter for my MacBook is in the other room, but as you can see, that would go in here very easily. Pack still looks good from the side. That's tucked in. That was a concern in the 20-liter pack, is you had to have this expanded all the way out, and then this side here wouldn't tuck in very easily. So that looks pretty good. So the remaining question is, what do you do with your Osmo? If you recall, on the 20-liter pack, the only option I really had was to put it here on the outside of the pack, inside the side pouch. Luckily, thanks to the increased width on the 30-liter pack, you can fit it right here on the side, and this will zip up without any problem. Now here's another option for you. Inside here I have my DSLR, I have the Mavic and the controller, and at the bottom here I have extra batteries, as well as the mount for the tablet onto the Mavic controller. Now if you want to, you're not carrying anything else here, you can fold all of these shelves up, and you have even more space here to put your Osmo, and perhaps even a small tripod if you have something like a GorillaPod. And actually, believe it or not, my Sony tripod fits in here as well. So that's just awesome. Something else to note here is that the pockets on the sides here are much bigger and expand more than the 20-liter backpack. So you can carry bigger tripods here more easily. So one of the big reasons I originally got the 20-liter backpack was because I was hesitant that this 30-liter version would be a little bit too large for a personal item on the airplane. I was worried I might get told that I have to check this or something like that, and obviously with expensive camera gear in here, I'm not going to do that. So I went online and did as much research as I could and found out that a lot of people are in fact using the 30-liter version as a personal item, not just a carry-on, but a personal item when they're traveling by plane, and they've never had a problem with it. It fits under the seat. It takes up most of the room, but it still fits under the seat. So I should be okay there. Now lately I've been using the Osprey Escapist 18 as my personal item. Now it's called the 18, but it's really only a 16-liter capacity and small medium size that I have here. And I really like this pack. You know, at one point in time I thought this really was the perfect day pack. What it's lacking though is the organizational features found in the Peak Design backpack. That said, I've never had any issues with this being a personal item on the plane, even though it can get pretty bulky when I have it stuffed to the gills and I have things overflowing out of this pocket. But it does have an advantage in that it has tapered edges around the sides here, so it actually looks a lot smaller than it is. Whereas on the Peak Design bag, everything here is very square at the corners. So it just looks like it's a lot bigger, even though it's really not that much bigger. And in fact, if you compare the sizes of these two bags, you'll see that the Peak Design is not that much wider. I'm talking an inch, inch and a half. And the depth really isn't that much different either. It's actually negligible here when this is all packed up. And even when it comes to height, the difference is pretty negligible. So this bag will probably take up a little bit more space under the seat in front of me as opposed to my old pack, but I'm not too worried about it. And if I ever do have to stow this in the overhead bin, I'll be happy to have a grab handle on the top as well as on both sides. Alright, let's see, what else do you need to know? The 20-liter version stands up on its own, but it pitches forward just a little bit. Might be hard to see in the video, but the 30-liter version has a bit more heft to it. It is heavier, in fact, and it does stand up better on its own. If that's a concern to you, some people have to have a backpack that stands up and doesn't fall over when you set it down, then I would consider the 30-liter version simply based on that. There's one more thing. The 20-liter version is available in black, whereas the 30-liter version does not come in black at this point in time. I really wish they would make this in black because that's the color I'd really want. You know, I think it looks really sleek and really nice. But I like the charcoal color too. You know, it hides dust and dirt and scuffs a little bit more easily than the black from what I've heard, so you know, this bag should look good for years to come. So who are these bags for? Well, the 20-liter version I think is ideal if you're carrying your laptop, camera, some other electronics to and from work or school, whereas the 30-liter version I think is better if you want to give yourself more options on how you carry your gear, or if you're really trying to carry a complete mobile photography and video studio on your back, or if you're just walking around the city and you're traveling and you want to leave some room up top here for things that you might purchase while you're out walking around, or if you need to carry clothing, jackets, rain shells. And here in the 20-liter version, you know, if you upgrade your gear, you buy more gear, then you might find that you're a little bit limited in what you can now carry. Whereas here, 30-liter version, you're going to have more options, it's more future-proof. Overall, it's clear this is a choice for me. I'm going to be sending this 20-liter bag back. So like many of you, I've been just a little bit obsessed about this backpack ever since I found out about it. And I have a trip coming up here very soon, so I'll finally get to take the tags off, put it through its paces, see how it works out. And hopefully I don't have any problems with getting it through as a personal item. I'll let you guys know how that works out, so stay tuned for that. But that's all for now. If you found this video to be useful in any capacity, pun intended, then give this video a like, subscribe to the channel for updates, and hit that little notification bell while you're at it. That way, you get alerted every time I post new videos. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.